Blessed people, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about the fall of a telecommunications giant, cable and wireless, you know what I mean? As also the rise of Digicel, which became a telecommunications giant in Jamaica. You get what I say, people? And I'm going to explain how it was the simple straw that broke the camel back and sent cable and wireless going down. In 1987, Cable and Wireless was the first private company to provide telecommunication service to Jamaica. Prior to that, it was the government who controlled all forms of telecommunications. But then it was limited to mostly Kingston before the 80s. You get the people, yeah man. So after it starts spread out and thing, then the government allow private people to start provide telecommunication to the people of Jamaica, you know what I mean? And the thing kind of spread out some more. So people, from the time Cable and Wireless started in 1987, people, they were the #1 telecommunication giant in Jamaica, you know what I mean? Up until early 2000 when Digicel came in and started to give them some competition. But people, prior to Digicel coming in, Cable and Wireless had a lot of challenges. Users of Cable and Wireless network had a lot of challenges, especially with service. People used to complain about the service that Cable and Wireless was offering. I can remember back in the days when I had relatives that used to have to walk to the call box, and I mean a phone booth, to make a phone call. So you buy a credit and you go at the phone booth, you have to join a line when you go at the phone booth, and the credit never really lasts no time because back then the rates were excessive because as a person walk going at the machine, the phone booth to make a call, by the time them go in there after a minute, 2 minutes, they see them a come back out, you know what I mean? The phone card done. You get the best of people, so I them think that people used to have to go through. But you know, after a time, cell phone was introduced, you know what I mean? And back then, cell phone was a scarce thing because only people with money at that time used to could afford a cell phone. And them days, the cell phone, I want big something like so. And you know, say, once you see a man with a cell phone, you know, say, him have money. You get the best of people that are the earlier days of cell phone, Motorola days. After a few years, the things start to get more modern, and you know, the phone size kind of get a little bit smaller. But there was always an issue with signal. Most of the times, people, these phones would not pick up. So you'd see a man with a phone and him bossy and him have him big cell phone each hand on him side, you know what I mean, and him a go on with himself, but the phone not picking up any service. You get to me, say, people. And even when the phone get more modern, that issue was still around. Back in them days, I know people, them have a cell phone, and I mean, and in order for them get a little service, them have to go outside, and it's either them have to climb a tree and hold themselves at a certain position in the tree where them can pick up some signal. You get to ask the people to make a one call, or them have to out a door, a walk around the phone of them and a search for signal. That's how it did stay. But then people, you know what I mean, it did crappy. And back in those days, when you receive a call from overseas people, back in those days, the credit that is on your phone would have come off also, you know. So somebody from overseas call you and your credit are burn also. You get me, I say? The level of service was not acceptable. You get me, I say, people? And Jamaican people didn't have a choice. They had to work with it because they had no other option. And as you know, people always complain about the quality of service. You get me, as a people? So in 2001 now, people, Cable and Wireless started to get some competition now when Digicel came onto the market. You get the rest of people. But you know, Jamaican people still, regardless of the fact that Cable and Wireless did have a service problem and so on and so forth, people still never readily switch to Digicel because, you know, we as a people, we don't really like the change thing like that. You get me? Somebody have to test the water first and tell us, well, you know, set a work with and so on and so forth. But nobody really jump on the Digicel train immediately. You get me? I say, people, persons were hesitant. And this is regardless of the fact that Digicel was offering better rates, you know what I mean, better quality cell phone and so on and so forth. You get the as people, persons were still hesitant to make the switch. But people, I'm gonna show you now how it was a simple straw which broke the camel back and sent Cable and Wireless plunging. The straw finally broke the camel back when a vehicle that was traveling in the Bagwat Gorge area ran over a flat bridge and went plunging into the river. An eyewitness that was there, you know what I mean, is saying that he was trying to give assistance to the persons in the vehicle, but it was challenging for him to do it by himself. So he was trying to make a call for the authorities to come out and assist. You get me, I say, people? And it was at that point the man take out his cell phone, which was a cable and wireless phone back in those days. You get me, I say, people? And put you up to the camera screen and say, look there, big old Sunday, no service. If him could have make a phone call, he would have been able to assist the persons. You know what I mean? They might have not lost their lives. And people, that is when cable and wireless started to take a downturn. You know what I mean, people? In those days, social media was not around as it is now. You get to be as a people. Otherwise, it would have been one of those memes where I go around. Yeah, people, I can remember that fateful news clip. It was a male and a female in the vehicle, and they both ended up drowning. You get to me, I say, people? And that was when people started to actually switch from cable and wireless now and started moving towards Digicel, because with Digicel phones, you had service in your house, in your bed. You know what I mean? People say, boy, to make a phone call, them not have to go out that door. You know what I mean? Them can lie down in them bed and get them calls. So you can talk to your relative anywhere in the world, laying in your bed. And now the fact that persons were willing to try Digicel now, they started to accept the quality of service now that Digicel was providing, you know what I mean, people? Better calling rates and so on and so forth. And people, back in those days, it is not like now when if you don't have any service, you could just go up on your phone and dial 119 and it works. Same way. Back in those days, it never used to work like that. If you never have no signal, you couldn't call 119 back in a damn time there. We may talk about early 2000. You get to me, I say, people, I think it was after that incident and so on and so forth, the system change up where you don't need to have credit or you don't need to have signal for call an emergency number. But back in that them time, if you never have service, you couldn't call 119. You get to be as a people. So that was a simple straw that broke the camel back. You get me? And this is a lesson for most persons who are doing business going forward. You have to always remember, you see your customer are your most valuable asset. Always try to do your endeavor best to ensure so your customer them satisfied with the level of service that you are providing. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself going down. Cable and wireless eventually change them name to Lime, but people still never trust them same way. You get to me, I say, people? So most people still were not willing to make the switch, even though they had improved on their services. During an hurricane, the Digicel phones went down because during that hurricane, I don't remember which hurricane in particular, but during that hurricane, and I mean, Digicel poles were blown down and there were power outages, and that caused the phone signals to go. And even though that happened, people still did not fully switch back to Lime. You get to me, I say, people? What most persons eventually did was have Lime as a second phone. Cable and wireless had underground wires, so the hurricane could not affect them that adversely, where they could not provide any service. You get to me, I say, people? So with all of that and all that, and all the improvement that they have made, that one straw, that one simple straw which broke the camel back, they still could not recover. You get to me, I say, people? The company eventually ended up merging with Flow. Right now, Flow provide excellent service, possibly even better than Digicel today's date. But because of what transpired back then, people still not really trust them. Because I am sure that a lot of persons who grew up and said is a Digicel phone them want, don't know the reason why them never really want a Flow phone or a Lime phone. Them just want a Digicel phone. You get me, as a people? Enough people don't know the reason behind it. You get me, as a people? But in my opinion, that are one of the main reasons for the downfall of cable and wireless. You get me, as a people? The fact that on that fateful Sunday, the man said him never have no signal for make no call. You get me, as a people, for assist the people them, and the people them end up joining the car. And that opened the door for Digicel, because when people do start to get Digicel a try, you understand, people, and them switch. You get me, and up until today date, Digicel are still the giant in Jamaica, people. Anyways, I hope you all found my information useful. Can like, subscribe and share. Peace.